So I thought I'd give a little bit of a desk tour so you can see why this is here. I cannot push it back any further, so I'm really sorry if that is jarring for the speed paint, but so this is where I had the camera, not the camera, my iPad in the last video, but yeah, it was just too hard to like look back and forth between these, so I thought this is how I've always drawn, so I thought I'd just like move, it's my keyboard's usually there and everything, on my mouse and my mouse pad, so I just kind of like move them over here and then put the iPad here just so we could have like the clear background and it wouldn't be so difficult for me to draw and look at my references to save. This is kind of, I mentioned it in the last video, I have my references and everything on one screen and then something I'm watching on the other screen. I'm rewatching Blue Look because it's one of my favourites, and I just finished One Piece. I told myself I'm not going to rewatch JoJo, which is one of my other favourites, until I finish One Piece, but I thought Blue Look's a bit shorter, so I'll rewatch that first. Yeah, and this is what I'm working on. I'm hoping to translate this Zoro stuff to this, and I've probably already mentioned, but I did this sketch while I was out for lunch one day, so sorry I didn't get that initial sketch process, but you'll get the rest. So turns out I actually didn't know when I was going to put that first clip in, but me and one of my best friends went out for lunch because she had some stuff to give me, which I will include. I'm putting some little clips in now. You can see what we had to eat and what point I drew up till. We went and had a look at some of the shops, and yeah, it was just a really nice day. We don't see each other a lot. We live quite close to each other, but we love being at home and cozy and not going out. But here we have my Jotaro Kujo Funko. I got myself this Rowlet Funko, and she bought me this Sanji pen. It's very cute. I don't know if I'll actually use it because I don't write a lot or do anything like physical. I'm a very digital person, but yeah, it was so nice of her. She got me the Jotaro Funko and Sanji, so that was very sweet. Here I am drawing the, I don't know what to call this phase, because I call the first phase like the messy shape section, and then this is more like maybe refined messy shapes, and then we'll get the line art. That's usually how I like to work. But I did mention I had just recently finished watching One Piece. I think I started in, I want to say maybe the back end of January or maybe start of February. And I finished in October. I used One Piece. Sorry if that's blasphemous. I don't really care because it's long and it took me so long to get through it all. So any means that I was going to do that, I was going to take. If that means One Piece, then yes, so be it. I really enjoyed it. Don't ask me any questions about it though, because I don't remember much. It's long, it's taken me ages. My memory's so bad, but I do know that I had fun. I'm glad it's over though, because I set myself a challenge of I'm not going to watch JoJo until I finish One Piece. And if you know me, JoJo's always been my it's like my default background noise for when I'm drawing, so it was really difficult. I usually so part 4 is my favourite of JoJo, so I usually start from part 4 and then just watch through to the end of part 6. But now that I've finished One Piece, I've started from part 1. I think I'm on episode 12 of part 3, so that took me like a day, because part 1 and 2 is quite short. I did nothing else all day but watch JoJo, so it was easy to get through. But anyway, I should be talking about One Piece because that is the character we are drawing now. Well, the character isn't called One Piece, it's Zoro. But yeah, so Zoro I decided to draw because I just love his design. I feel like he's really, well, he's obviously very handsome. Fun fact, I actually started watching One Piece, I want to say when I was 13 or 14, because a friend told me to watch it. So I started, and then I remember like watching it and I was like kind of bored, but like I fancied the pants of Zoro. He's actually my first anime crush. And then my friend was like, oh, just skip to this episode and then watch from here. And then I watched a little bit and then I just kind of dropped it. So that was quite a while ago. I'm not going to say how many years, long enough. But yeah, my boyfriend loves One Piece. I think it's his favourite anime. I think it's between One Piece and Fire Force and Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho 100 is amazing, by the way. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. But anyway, back on track. I think my plan was to watch it and then not tell him that I've watched it until I'd finished, but I cannot keep a secret to save my life. So I ended up telling him. So that he's kind of the reason why I stuck at it, because there's been so many times when I've been watching it where I've been like, oh, I can't believe I've got so many episodes left. I can't believe there's so much left to watch. But I did it. I had a great time. I feel like it's kind of like giving me some... confidence isn't the right word. I don't want to say cocky either, but like that kind of vibe. Like I feel headstrong that I am in an elite club. It's probably not that elite. It's like one of the most popular anime, if not the most popular in the world, but I feel like it takes a lot of dedication to watch that many episodes and like stay dedicated to it and see it through, and I have done that. I am a quitter. I missed JoJo so bad, but I got through it. So I will tell you some things about One Piece that are like my favourites. What should we do? Okay, so my favourite Straw Hat is actually Sanji. I thought it was going to be Zoro just because I had that is affinity the right word? Affinity for him. I just liked him from like being a teenager. So I was like, yeah, it'll probably be my favourite, but Sanji is great. My favourite arc is Whole Cake Island. Is it Isle or Island? I think it's Island, Whole Cake Island. Yeah. Is it because it's Sanji Central? I don't know. I just thought it was amazing. I loved was it the first intro or the second intro? I think it was called Hope or something. That intro's great for Whole Cake. My favourite villain is Crocodile because he's fine, but my actual favourite villain for being a good villain is Big Mom. I didn't see that coming at all. She's just so funny, and you know, I'm a sucker for anyone who rocks pink, male or female, you know. She works it. She's really funny. She's really menacing. I love her devil fruit powers. She's so strong. Yeah, anything else? I'm struggling to think of anything else to talk about. I feel like I've missed something, but maybe it'll pop back in my head. Well, I picked these 3 poses from Pinterest, as you will have seen on my reference board on one of my monitors, but I saw them and I was like, yeah, these will work for Zoro, these will work for Zoro. I kind of, I wasn't sure whether to do any One Piece fan art because I don't know how popular it is right now. Not that that matters, I usually just do what I want anyway, whether it's popular or not. But I was like, I don't know if this is like worth doing, but this is actually, I think, one of my favourite arts I've ever done. I think it just looks so great. And I mentioned in the last video how much I struggle with clothes. I'm not saying I've mastered clothes in the least, like not even close, but I think I have reached a point where I don't know if I know enough. I feel like I actually know nothing, but I feel like I know how to be jammy in how clothes look, so they look a bit better than they should with my lack of knowledge. I don't know if that makes any sense. I just feel like I kind of have a brain that's like, we're gonna cheat, we're gonna be lazy and make it work somehow, and I think it did. You can let me know if you disagree or not, but I think I pulled it off. Yeah, so I'm doing line art. I'm seeing his scars on his eyes. I actually didn't plan on doing the eye shut. I didn't really care to have his eyes shut because obviously in the anime he always does, but I was like, I'll probably just do them. And then I was like, you know what? No. I'm going to try and be faithful. Also, I'm drawing this longer body one now with the back to us. I struggled so much with his face. I do fix it, but you will see for a while, so just bear with me. I promise I do fix it. His forehead is like non-existent. His hairline to his eyebrows is literally like the size of a fingernail, like a little fingernail. It's probably less. I was staring at it for ages, and I think when you stare at something for too long, you like kind of don't see what the problems are. Like, I was just looking at it, I was like, there is something not right about this, but I just can't put my finger on it. And something I try not to do, but I often do a lot, is I take screenshots when I'm like about to be done for the day, and I will obsess over every little detail while I'm trying to like play games or just talk to my friends or watch a show. I'll have my phone up and I'm like, check how that art looks, and then I'll just stare and stare and stare. And that's kind of what I did with this art, because I took a screenshot and I sent it to my friend. Oh my god, my voice just cracked, sorry. I took a screenshot, sent it to my friend who I went for lunch with, because I wanted to keep her updated, because she was really invested when I was drawing. She was like, she went so quiet, it was like ASMR in the middle of the pub. But so when I sent it to her, I kept going into our chat and just like staring at it. And I was like, what can I do to fix this? I was clueless, and then it just kind of snapped. My plan was to finish this in 2 days. It actually took 3. I think the amount of time this took was, I want to say 16 hours in total. I did do background for this. It's nothing like flashy. It's not like I do draw like a scene on the ship or on a beach or anything like that. It's like kind of sticker Y2K vibes, but I don't include that in the speed paint because my neck was really hurting by the end of the 3rd day. Even though the 3rd day was like the least time, I was just like, I'm gonna take my iPad to bed because I have a laptop table, so my legs don't get boiling using my laptop in bed. So I do draw a lot in bed, but I'm trying to get more used to working at my desk. But I'd had enough of being at my desk and doing this particular art. I was like, okay, I'm going to take my iPad to bed, I'll work on the background in bed, and then I'll just add that at the end of the video so people can see how it looks fully finished. So you'll see that at the end. I did lose my train of thought. What was that? Was I talking about something else? Let's move on. It'll probably come back to me if not. So day 1, again, I did not the sketch, but we'll include the sketch. The sketch on messy shape, stage, line art, and flat colour. I had a nightmare with the layers because it took so many layers. It was such a struggle. You'll probably not be able to tell with how fast it sped up, but it was a struggle, but we did actually get through it. I struggled a lot with the limitations of the layers, so you will see me probably going back and forth between having flats and no flats. But yeah, that was the end of day 1. And I'm that confident with how it was looking, but obviously you'll see the end results eventually.
So I'm calling it here for today. I've done all the line art and flat colour. I finished the first season of Blue Lock and I watched the movie straight after, and then this is going to be season 2. So I'm just going to go to bed and watch that or play some games. I haven't really decided, but I thought I'd just do a little chat about this. I don't know if this is more enjoyable than just a full speed paint, because you can hear my thought process as I'm kind of doing it. But yeah, I think it's looking good. There's some things I don't really like, but I don't know if it's just because it's like kind of plain for now, and you know, it is literally just flat. But this one is giving me so much trouble. Let me focus. I cannot do his lips. I've just realised also I have forgotten to colour his sideburn. Yeah, I cannot do his lips. I don't know if I've done the head weird or anything, but I'm like, that is tomorrow's problem. And then but the thing is, like, it is going to be tomorrow's problem, and tomorrow's going to come, and I don't think I'll be able to start colouring the skin or anything until I've actually done, like, made sure everything's how it should be. Like, I just have no idea what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to look at some Hirohiko Araki art and see how he does like side profiles and stuff, because I love doing big juicy lips. Very inspired by him on that front. So I'm sure he will have something for me to look at that will help, hopefully. Yeah, if you're thinking it's not looking its best right now, I totally agree. It is just line art and flat colour though, so trust the process. I've said this before, I am a very trust the process artist. And how long has this taken me today? I actually have not had a look. When I first opened it, it was like 40 minutes, so I am a bit nervous because it's taken me quite a while. Oh, yikes. Okay, that's actually not too bad. If it's another 6 hours tomorrow, that's just like 12 hours. Or if it's 4 hours tomorrow, it won't be. But if, let's pretend it could be. I've lost my train of thought. Then that'll be the same as my last start, and then that's not too bad. 10 hours isn't bad at all. It won't be, but wishful thinking. Anyway, so I will be back tomorrow with more of the process. I'm hoping to be done tomorrow because I've got things to do on Monday, so I'd like to just spend all day tomorrow doing this, hopefully, and getting it done. And yeah, see you then.
This art took way longer than I had anticipated. I think I kind of knew when the initial sketch took, oh my god, please go back to school, took 40 minutes, because I feel like I kind of just know when something's going to take a while, depending on like the early stages. I think I'm getting back into a unfortunate place where I'm kind of really I don't know if nitpicky is the right word, but like I am very detail oriented. I was kind of getting to a stage where I was like, no one's going to be zooming in super hard on what I'm doing, so I can afford to be like a little looser, and you know, not everything has to be perfect. But I think I'm kind of getting back in there. Everything does need to be perfect, so it is taking a bit longer. I don't actually know what specifically held me back this time in taking so long, because I think in my head I was like, it's probably not going to take that long, but it really took longer than I anticipated. Like I said, I was planning on it being like a 2-day job, but ended up going into 3 days. Granted, I think the third day was only like 3 hours or 4 hours it might have been, which, you know, that's still a big chunk of the day, but it wasn't, you know, too bad considering, because all I had left on day 3 was it clothes and hair? But yeah, day 2 was definitely like the longest, because I did all of the skin rendering, which is like tripled because there's 3 bodies. It was kind of nice getting to do them all on like the same layers though, because sometimes when I do collage ones like this, the skin overlaps, so I have to like do them on separate layers. So I feel like that takes a bit longer. Make it make sense though, because it's still like the same process, so I don't know why it would take longer, but I think it's just like in my head I'm like, okay, I don't need to faff on changing the layer type and what have you multiple times, so it was easy to just like dive in and focus on, okay, I need to do the first layer, second layer, third layer. Now I don't have to do like multiple make new layers. I in my head it makes sense, but obviously if you're not an artist, it might just be like, what the hell are you talking about? It makes sense to me. Yeah, it was good. I remember why it took me so long on day 2. Okay, so I did mention I was rewatching Blue Lock. So day 2, I think I was up to season 2, and I think when I went to bed, I had like 3 episodes left of season 2. So I was up, eager to start and get stuck into doing my work, and then my Wi-Fi was atrocious. It was driving me insane. So my Crunchyroll kept buffering, the quality kept dropping horrendously. So I had to keep stopping what I was doing to try and fix it, and just nothing was working. I was getting so agitated. I was so angry because I was like, I just want to watch my fucking anime and work. And it was like taking time to like go and check the router, and you know, what else did I do? I reset some things. I watched a tutorial on like, why is my PC Wi-Fi so slow? Because like my laptop's fine, my iPad's fine, my phone's fine. It was just my PC. So I was trying to do some troubleshooting and figure out what the problem was, but nothing was working until I turned the Wi-Fi router on and off, and it didn't like immediately fix everything, but was like a significant improvement. So I did eventually manage to just lock in, but yeah, that has contributed to why it took so long on day 2 to get anything done. I did finish season 2, and then I subscribed to this guy's Patreon, who is in the middle of watching part 3 of JoJo, and he is watching Blue Lock at the moment. And I was like, I want to watch what he has to say. I quite like this guy, so I subscribed to his Patreon. So I've basically watched Blue Lock season 1 twice. He's only up to like episode 20. But when I finished watching him watch episode 20, I decided to carry on watching it myself, so I ended up watching Blue Lock twice. I love Blue Lock so much though, like it's probably a top 5 anime for me. You can say what you want about the animation, I don't really care. I love the cast, I love the vibes, it's so fun. But yes, I was very frustrated day 2. I was like huffing and puffing. I was like, what am I going to do? This is so infuriating. Is this going to happen every time I sit down at my desk and try and watch something and do some art? Because like, I don't want it to eat into my time like it has this time, but hopefully it was a one-off and it won't happen again. If not, I will just have to turn the router on and off again immediately and hope that solves everything straight away, so I can just get that out of the way and then lock into doing some art. But yeah, I mentioned before, rendering skin is like my favourite part of my process. I feel like it's just really relaxing, and like I feel like I've learned quite a lot from doing it so much. I feel really confident in doing it. Obviously, as I've mentioned before, I still have so much to learn in terms of like backgrounds and lighting, but I feel like for things like this, I've kind of got my process down to an art, and then anything else I end up learning on top of it in terms of lighting or using different hues or anything like that. I think that's just like going to be an added benefit, but I think it's like my strongest skill at the moment, which I'm not complaining about. I don't know if people well, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, obviously, but I don't know if skin is considered like one of the easier things to start with, or if it's like something people develop later and it's more common to start like, actually, I'm great at backgrounds right off the bat. You're doing it wrong. Because I hate backgrounds. I don't know what it's going to take for me to understand backgrounds. I need to find like a hack. I'm sure I did actually find a video on YouTube the other day. I forgot what it's called though, but it was like really it made backgrounds look easy, and I'm just like, it can't be. It just can't. I don't believe you. But I am going to try and set some time aside because I have quite a fair amount of things to queue up post wise. Like, I've got some art I've never posted before. I'm going to start posting no commentary speed paints just to pad out my upload schedule, and kind of the same with TikToks. Like, I've got plenty of things to post to pad out my posting schedule, so I am going to take the opportunity to I'll obviously still be making new art, but I'm going to try and set some time aside to learn. Where do I start? Let me know in the comments. Do you think I should start with backgrounds or should I start with lighting? I feel like they're both just a nightmare to me, like the thought of doing either. It's it fills me with genuine dread. I think I've mentioned in my last video, I am a person who, like, I hate to fail. I am so hard on myself, and like, art is something where you just can't be good off the bat, and I hate that because it just makes me feel like a loser. I hate it. I obviously have stayed determined to manage to get where I am now, and like, I'm glad I've been consistent and patient because it has ultimately paid off. But the thought of starting something like basically from scratch and like being even more of a baby artist than I already am, it, like, I actually have genuine dread. I'm like, how on earth am I going to handle this? I really have no idea which one is worse, because I feel like backgrounds, it's like, you need to learn about perspective, and you know, I feel like every time I've done a course, every time I've done like 2, but it's like, it's so tedious, like the horizon line. I don't know how many times I've learned about the horizon line and how many times I've drawn cubes and 1 point perspective rooms. Like, I'm not good at 1 point perspective rooms, and like, I need to be. That's like the fucking starting line, but it's just like, I don't know. I think my brain just can't comprehend how I would translate 1 point perspective to, you know, having characters included in that. And then this has taken me 16 hours or whatever I said before. That is long enough, and that's just 3 figures. How long is 3 figures or 1 figure in a room that I have to draw like a horizon line? I have to draw all of the lines coming from the horizon lines into squares. I have to refine the squares into a cupboard or a bed or a front door or a makeup table, you know? I'm just like, and then with doing horizon line stuff, it's so messy bringing all of the lines out from the, is it called a vanishing point? I'm showing how much attention I've paid to this course I've done. I did give up quite early, I'm going to be honest, because I was bored. Drawing the cubes is so boring. I have done it so many times. I'm so tired of it. But yeah, drawing all the lines to the cubes, which then need to become objects and furniture, it is so messy and it's so hard to read, and I'm like, I can't do this. I really can't do this. I feel like there's got to be something else I can do to like turn it into a cheat or a hack and make it a bit simpler for myself, because it's just too much. It is too much. If anyone has any advice, any background experts, if you have any cheats, if you have any hacks, please let me know, because I'm scared. So yeah, there's that side of it, which is backgrounds, or lighting, which in my head I'm like, that's probably easier, and then I can kind of translate lighting to, you know, how I'm doing my figures right now, so maybe that would be more beneficial. But I'm like, lighting is basically science, which is like my worst nightmare also. Like, I'm not a science girl. I'm not smart enough for... What did I say last time? Because there's like different types of lighting. I think there's like scatter lighting, bounce light. What else is there? There's like reflections and stuff, which I think counts as lighting, because like I think certain materials can reflect light, and I know the general, like, what you're told to do is like imagine where your light source is and then reflect that on your whatever you're doing, which I do try and do, by the way. Like, I usually like having my light come from the right, and then so like I always try and do the right side more brightly and then the left more shadowed. Does that come across? You let me know. I feel like it does, but at the same time I'm like, does it all just look light? Does it look like the lights at the front? I don't know. I feel like I'm really inconsistent with where I put shadows too. But I feel like when you look at, say like a photo, if there's like, I'm trying to paint a scene in my head. So like imagine there's like a guy in bed. Imagine like someone muscly. Let's say Zoro, since we're drawing him anyway. Zoro in bed. There's like a window, and it's one of those, 4x4. No, 2x2? Yes, 2x2 windows. There's light filtering in. Maybe the blinds are half shut. I feel like there's like a million different ways in which his body, because the room's probably a bit dark, but still there's light coming in. So I feel like there's like there would be really hard shadows at some points, and then there'd be hard shadows in places that I would never put hard shadows if I had to draw that from memory. And then there's like light catching the body, specific muscles, and then there's bright light in places where the hard shadow also is. I feel like it's just that probably just sounded like a whole load of nonsense, so I am sorry. I say it very clearly in my head, but I just like, I don't understand how people know where to put that kind of lighting or those kind of shadows. I feel like I'm just like so out of my depth. I imagine it comes with practice, which is fair enough. Like, everything comes with practice, but I'm clueless. I am truly clueless. I would not know where to start, but I guess just starting is enough. But again, I'm really scared to try and fail, but maybe it just needs to be something that I keep to myself until I feel a bit more comfortable. The only other thing about it is like, either one, maybe, I think I said in the last video, I could make into a 30-day challenge like I did my clothes video that I have not edited or posted. Maybe I will work on that soon. I do have a rough script for it. I am going to try and make that one more scripted because it was more structured and I kind of took notes every day, so I feel like that would be easier to turn into a script and make another video. The only thing, I didn't have my camera stand like I do now, so all of the footage would be just the Procreate made Speedpaint, so I don't know how good that would look or how much actual video content I would get out of that kind of footage. So that is something I need to think about, but I think it'll be a fun video if I can pull it off, so stay tuned for that at some point. But yeah, it was fun, and obviously I feel like since then my skill with clothes has improved. Again, not great, not the best, better than I was though, so I'ma call it a success. But maybe making a challenge out of something. Sorry, can we talk about this? His forehead looked enormous with the way I drew. Like, blobbed on the base colour of his skin, so I thought I'd just play tic-tac-toe on his forehead. Here I am fixing his face I mentioned. I did realise, obviously I mentioned that the problem was he had no forehead, because I was looking at it and I was like, why does his nose look enormous? why does, like, nothing looks right and I don't know what it is, but eventually it did click into place and I just liquefied the shading that I did and everything, and I redid what I had to. Like, you can see me going over his eye again, but his lips got to stay, pretty much everything got to stay, which was very convenient because it would have taken even longer if I had to start again. I was worried that I would have to start again, but no, we resolved it. What was I saying? Oh, about a challenge video. Yeah, let me know if that's something you'd be interested to see. I feel like seeing other people struggle makes me feel if that's problematic, I'm sorry. It's just nice to know that, like, I'm not alone. I feel like when we admire an artist, you see the best of their abilities. So you're like, well, I guess they've just always been perfect and amazing, and I'm just bad at everything and I'm never going to be on that level. But I think it is kind of gives you a sense of solidarity, that people can also struggle. I'm not saying, you know, I'm someone you should look at and be like, oh wow, she's always perfect, she always does amazingly. But it is nice to know that, like, other people in the world struggle with things and don't get things right, because I think it makes failing feel a little less daunting, which I'm really scared of failure. I don't know how, I mean, I know it's a common thing, but I feel like some people don't really care and, like, they find it easy to pick themselves back up if they fail. I kind of do and don't. I feel like I'm more lean towards don't, though. Like, if I feel I failed at something, it really does rock my confidence a bit. So I think it's nice seeing other people, like, in a similar position and knowing, like, okay, I can connect with this. I just need to keep going, feel my feelings and get through it. Let's talk about the art some more. As you can see, I'm working on his hair. This is the only one that does have hair at the moment. I, for some reason, was convinced that he had a buzz cut. I don't know why. His hair just looks really short, I think, like, when you watch the anime. So in my head, I was like, it's a buzz cut. And I made my reference board and I didn't really add any with hair because I did most of them with a bandana. And I was like, well, it's just a buzz cut anyway. I'll just do a buzz cut. And then I actually googled his hair and he's like got strands, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to do strands. But when I was trying, I just hated it. I just hated how it looks. I was like, you know what, he's getting a buzz cut. So I've only done a buzz cut one other time. I really liked how it turned out, so that's what's in the little reference box there. It's when I gave Shido from Blue Lock a buzz cut. I think I just looked at, like, a lot of I tried to find some art where people have done buzz cuts before, and I kind of I don't know where this technique came from specifically, but I think I did find one that had, like, a lot of cross-hatching and squiggles, and that kind of worked for me, and I liked how it turned out with Shido, so that's kind of how I have decided to do buzz cuts in general going forward. I think it looks really nice. I think it's, like, really nice and sketchy, and I feel like it matches my kind of style quite well. I think it blends quite nicely with, you know, how I do other kinds of hair and I feel like I'm just talking crap. I'm not, because I know what I mean, but it probably just sounds like nonsense. So I am sorry. But I think it blends well with how I do everything else. I don't think it's like a jarring, stark difference of, you know, you wouldn't look at it and be like, why does she do everything else like this and then this like this? Like, it doesn't look like it doesn't belong there. It meshes, it blends, is what I'm trying to get at. So I hope I've conveyed that correctly, if that makes sense. Yeah, so we are obviously on day 3 now. I did finish day 2 in the middle of Zoro's hair, but my boyfriend called me and I think we played Fortnite. Anyone enjoying the new Simpsons season? I'm finding it really hard. I came second once. I feel like it's because I don't know if it's just because it's new and all of the Fortnite sweats are playing and making it not fun, or if it's just not fun. I haven't determined that yet. I'm not really fond of the weapons. I miss the Wrecker Revolver. Wrecker Revolver, my beloved, you will always be famous. I feel like there's great guns that like take you out in like 2 hits, so I don't know what that's all about. It's just like it feels really hard and unfair at the moment, but as I say, it might just be because it's new and all of the sweats are playing. No shade if you're a sweat, by the way, I'm just jealous and bitter. I wish I was good at the game. I am so bad at Fortnite. But I don't play to be competitive. I just play for it's like a social call for me. Like it's a way to talk to my long distance friends, or you know, when my boyfriend calls after work, it's like nice to unwind with him and play and shoot some people. Yeah, I do treat it more as like a gossip session than, you know, we need to win. I'm taking this very seriously. I very seldom take it seriously. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be playing much of it until it's calmed down a little bit. Maybe give myself a fair shot, because it's not best coming like 44th with your duo. It's a bit like, oh my god, do we even want to play? Shall we play something else? This sucks. Yeah, I don't know if they'll ever do. I feel like a One Piece collab would go crazy. Who would you like to see if they did? Obviously, Luffy would have to be there. Zoro, surely, just because he's first mate. I think they'd have to do a girl, so probably Nami. That's kind of like what the My Hero Academia one's like, from what I remember. I think it's Midoriya, Bakugo, and Uraraka. But then I think they did add, who is it? Shorto for sure. Mina and why did I say it like that? Mina and Kirishima. But then they've got the villain pack too. So there's so many characters in One Piece. I barely remember anyone apart from the Straw Hats and anyone else I find handsome. But yeah, I think a One Piece one would go crazy. I would personally love a Blue Lock one. I would love that. I would love to be Ryusei Shido running around. I feel like he would lend himself so well to that environment. And Reen and Barrow are my other 2 favourites. But Jojo, I think Jojo would be sick for a Fortnite collab. I would buy it. I would spend all the money. I would break the bank for a JoJo collab, but again, that's another one like One Piece where there's just so many options. I don't even know where they'd start. I think Jotaro Kujo would be unnegotiable for sure, because he is like, I think he's the poster boy for JoJo. Him and Star Platinum. I chose his outfits by looking at the thing I do love about One Piece is the range of outfits. Like, I love how they change their outfits every arc, pretty much. So I did have a look. I didn't want to do anything from pre-time skip because I do love his original look and I love his bandana and stuff, but I mean, I did still do his bandana, but yeah, I kind of like his newer, more what is it? What would you call it? Like, I like the robes and what have you. The one in front I did is apparently from a movie. I did not fact check that, to be honest, but when I had the image open, I'm sure it mentioned something about a movie, which I haven't seen any of the One Piece movies. I don't know if they're worth watching, so maybe I will eventually. I'm not the biggest fan of anime movies though, unless they're like canon. You know, like the Demon Slayer movies are amazing, and but even like the Jujutsu Kaisen movie, the what was it called? The one with Yuta. Was it like Zero? Anyway, that I did enjoy it, but I feel like that feels like segmented episodes. Like it feels like 3 episodes instead of like a movie that flows. It feels like you kind of know where the episode would start and end when you watch a Jujutsu Kaisen movie. That's just me. And then like non-canon movies, I'm just kind of like, that was fun. But like the My Hero movies, I've only seen the first two, I think. I did enjoy them both. I think I like the second one more than the first. But I think it's just kind of like, it's fun to have more content of something that you like, but you know, if it's not canon, it kind of doesn't matter. So that's kind of where I'm at with anime movies. No one asked, but this is my channel and I get to talk about whatever I want. So, but let me know if you like the One Piece movies, if there's any that are worth checking out, because I'm always open to recommendations for things to watch with my boyfriend, because we can never decide on what to watch. We don't fight over watching anything, we're just like, nothing's calling to me, I have nothing in mind to watch. So yeah, I will happily take any recommendations on anything really, not just movies. If there's any good animes you could recommend, or TV shows or movies, just literally anything. But I think we are coming to the end of this, so I will include the finished product with the background, and I don't know how much is left. I feel like I've done everything, but I'm just watching, I'm like, what else is left to do? It looks like it's just finishing touches, to be honest. But yeah, subscribe, like, all that fun stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!